Okay, guys, it's Monday, college basketball Monday night. We're heading to the ACC, and we're going to talk North Carolina, Clemson. An obvious letdown spot for Clemson here, but aside from that, everything points towards the Tigers in this matchup for me. So the letdown spot comes from obviously a big upset against Duke over the weekend. Best win of the season for Clemson, huge win for them. But North Carolina, this isn't the North Carolina team that's you would typically follow a Duke team. I guess we'll put it that way, where you'd have Clemson probably as another underdog or close to a pick or right around there. In years past, Clemson's a 5.5 point favorite here, and in my opinion, they're a deserving favorite. And the only thing that would keep me off of Clemson in this matchup is the fact that they just beat Duke, and of course maybe they don't come out with that same energy, but it's North Carolina. I feel like you're always going to get up for North Carolina if you're Clemson, and so if they get up for North Carolina here, they're probably going to win, and they're probably going to cover in this game. Clemson takes away a lot of like the edges I think that North Carolina has against other teams. So big thing for Clemson here. They're very tough, very physical on the inside, very good rebounding team. Crushed Duke on the glass on Saturday, and their post defense is very good. So North Carolina, they're not like second chance points. I think they kind of need to beat the better teams in the ACC this year. And if they don't get them, which I don't think they're going to get them against Clemson, I think they're going to have a hard time being on the road and not sort of falling behind in this game. Another thing I like about Clemson here, huge head coaching mismatch. Brad Brownell deserves far more credit than he's gotten during his Clemson tenure. I think he's finally starting to get the respect that he deserves after the Elite Eight run last year, but he's as good, if not the best coach in the ACC right now. And again, like big head coaching mismatch. I'll take Brad Brownell from a coaching standpoint up against any other team in this league, including North Carolina. And I think that Clemson with Shiflin and Lakin and their ability to sort of get in the paint, score in the paint, defend the paint, and rebound is going to make things really difficult for North Carolina. How does North Carolina keep it close? They're going to probably have to hit outside shots. Can they do that? Well, they're not a great three-point shooting team, just 32.7% this year. That's outside the top 250 nationally. So, listen, the number kind of came out to where I expected it to be. I figured this would be like 5.5, and it is. So I'm not seeing a ton of number value, but if you're just looking at the matchup here and where these two teams are at right now, Clemson makes all the sense in the world to get this win at home. And again, if Clemson can avoid the we just beat Duke hangover, I think they probably win and win this game easily. So lean there for me. This is not going to make my client card. Like I said, the number is spot on. But I do like Clemson from a matchup standpoint, and that will be my free pick here. Great promo going on at WagerTalk. Just started today. 30 days comes out to less than $8 per day. 30 days from now, we're already in a conference tournament. So if you're looking for picks from me and college basketball is your thing, that's exclusively what you'll get from me over the next 30 days. We'll have a whole bunch. It's the highest volume time of the year for me, February into March, as we sort of get the data from the early part of conference play and non-conference data. I think February to right through that first week of conference tournaments, where the smaller conference tournaments are all going, is the best time to attack college hoop. And so 30-day discount on my page right now, wt.buzz/AT. All right, let's talk about another game here. Let's head over to the American Athletic Association for a team that just a couple years ago went to the Final Four in Florida Atlantic. And I think even 2 years removed, the Owls still get a lot of respect for the name on the front of the jersey. And it's kind of led me to want to fade them at times this year. Truthfully, I haven't really been able to find good spots to do it because it's hard to trust the lesser teams in this league, like the one we're going to talk about here. And I don't love Florida Atlantic when they go up. Like they're typically they've been undervalued when they're up against the better teams in this league, like the Memphis, Memphises and UABs, so on and so forth. So I've looked for spots to fade them. Thankfully, I haven't even tried lately because their last 3 games, as they start to play the bottom half of this league, 20-point win over Texas San Antonio, 22-point win over South Florida, 24-point win over Tulsa. So FAU, I think, is their profile is inflated for a couple of reasons. One, they've sort of become this name team, although Dusty May is now at Michigan. This is not the same FAU team. And two, they are just bashing skulls in here in the bottom half of this league, where teams are not very good. And Charlotte qualifies for that. So that's kind of the first talking point here. Charlotte is a bad team. They're technically the worst team from a record standpoint. They're 2-9. They're currently in last place. But I've seen things the last 3 weeks or so. Charlotte's shown signs of life that they are improving. And that makes me kind of, that makes me kind of interested in maybe taking a shot with them plus the 13. I think it's 13 or 12 and a half or 13, whatever it is here. So where I started to notice them getting better was the Wichita State Memphis back-to-back games. They go on the road, give a tough game to Wichita State, cover. They play Memphis at home, battle all the way back, cover that one. Next game out is Temple, a brutal 2 overtime loss. They cover in that game. The UAB, getting crushed at UAB, it is what it is. I mean, that's going to happen. But even recently, the Wichita State game from a couple weeks ago that was at Charlotte was close, like pretty much came down to the final possession. And then they get over the hump and beat Rice over the weekend for their second conference win. So they're trending, in my opinion, in the right direction. And as far as this matchup's concerned, the way in here for Charlotte is like they just got to hit a couple threes. If you look at their season-long numbers, they're not a good three-point shooting team at all. If you look at the last couple games, they've been better. If you look at what they did over the weekend, they were great. They were 13 for 28 behind the arc against Rice. And Florida Atlantic will give you the three-point shot. They're not, defense probably outside the top 150 for most analytics sites, like Evan Maya, Ken Palm, all have them like kind of outside the top 150. But where they will give you open looks is from the three-point line. And if Charlotte can knock a couple of those down, they're going to be right in this game, because another thing Charlotte does well, they get to the foul line and they hit their foul shot. So as poor as they can be offensively at times, they're good at drawing fouls. They knock down their free throws. And if they can replicate what they did over the weekend to beat Rice and just hit a few threes, they're probably going to be right in this game. It might not get them over the hump to win in Boca Raton tonight, but this is a big number. And I think if Charlotte can knock down some open threes, they will be open. I'll tell you that much. They will get their open looks. I think Charlotte probably covers the big spread in Boca Raton. 2 free picks right there. Head it over to my page at WagerTalk for what I've got for clients today. And again, that 30-day special, that's good for all handicappers, but that's up on my page. Is going to take you right into conference tournament time. So grab that WT.buzz/AT, and we will see you guys back here tomorrow.